Um, so tonight's home chat is going to be basically about my thoughts on George Floyd's murder. Um, this is the young man that was murdered from as a result from police brutality on 5 May 2020 in Minneapolis. From what I understand, something about a counterfeit bill that he was trying to use at the store. Okay, and yes, the man was probably wrong. Okay, from counterfeiting, that is a serious offense. Okay, but I looked at several videos on YouTube from other content creators and so forth, and the more that I see it, the more and more that it really bothers me, or really I find disturbing. Okay, now I'm not going to take sides. Okay, too tough, but I mean I could see that vividly that this officer was wrong. Okay, and again I looked at probably several clips, and I'm disturbed to see actually 3 officers on this guy. Okay, when the 3 officers had the ability with guns, tasers, or they could have used just physical force, okay, to get this man in the vehicle, okay, and the man didn't even resist. Point being is this: tonight topic, okay, is going to be based on my concerns about the protests all over the USA, including Las Vegas. Now, I was on the way up in Utah, okay, to visit my children the same day that they had protests, and I didn't even know that protests were scheduled. Okay, now I'm up here in Ogden, Utah, and they have protests up here in Salt Lake and Ogden, and they had a big time standoff out there downtown Salt Lake at the Capitol building. They had a burnt car, okay, and I think about 40 people was arrested. From what I understand, is about 80 people were arrested, and we'll get to that. But this is a article from CNN.com, okay, and just so you know, many places around the U.S., including here, has administered an 8 o'clock curfew, and it probably is going to last until Monday morning, okay, and so it may possibly delay the casinos openings, but that's not important. More important is about civil rights today, okay? So that aside, and I just wanted to give you guys my take on it, but I find this a very disturbing video here, okay? Again, the 3 guys, I think the angle in which they had it, you couldn't see the 3 guys from one angle. You just see the one particular guy, Derek Chauvin, okay, that's on top of this guy, okay, with his knee on his neck, okay, which I just find very, very sickening, okay, with 2 other officers. If you could look at this image right here, okay, dealing on Floyd. Why? For what reason? If you were able to pull up the full version of the YouTube tape, he was sitting down. Okay, he wasn't bothering anybody, and yes, he had cooperated. I think that he was a little bit slow moving, okay, and a little reluctant. But from what I saw, I think the man was fairly cooperative, and this just was uncalled for. It didn't make any sense. Okay, 4 guys with 1 guy just standing around not doing anything. Okay, this is wrong. This is very disturbing. The man had begged, okay, for his life, that he couldn't breathe. Okay. And they still put this guy to death. This is an execution right here. Okay. And because of that, I'm going to do like a 2-part commentary on this. All right. And in this article, this man, the guy, George Chauvin, got a 3rd-degree murder and manslaughter. That was it. I mean, this is absurd right here. This should have been like at least a murder 2 with 25 mandatory years. Okay. And I do know a lot of these cops get special privileges, especially people are in the unions or they're in some type of Masonic clique or whatever. Okay, so as a result, these officers were fired. Okay, and you have the guy Chauvin is going to be tried with 3rd-degree manslaughter. Okay, and again, this was just very, very unjust here. Okay, brand new evidence here. All right, and you can see this on CNN.com. So this article is from NBC News, and it's just speaking primarily on the protests all throughout the nation. It's gotten to where they have protests in other countries. I think Iran, China. Okay, you're going to hear about this from other countries as far as in the police handling themselves a little bit better. And I was going to say, I've had my run-ins with police and so forth, okay, when I was younger. And I was, raised to respect the police. You don't have to like everything they do. And believe me, they have a tough job they have to do where they have to make a decision at a drop of the dime. But I believe that some of these guys, like this guy, Derek Chauvin, he gets his personal feelings involved in it. But on top of that, many of these officers don't have any background check at all, okay? No morals, okay? But a lot of police academies, they pick these guys up because of the overturn of police. They need police so bad. But let's just take a look at this article, okay, in different cities, all right? And Donald Trump has also expressed his concern, okay, to get an anti-terrorist group together, okay, to break up these individuals, okay, that try to make fun or patronize George Floyd in the wrong way. So this is, in this article, you have a segment in Washington State, okay, where the guard has been called in, okay. 200 guard members have been called in, okay, because of property damage and looting, okay. Let's see, Santa Monica, California, all right, same thing, burning cars, okay, buildings, dumpsters, okay, and looting, excuse me, all right. Los Angeles, okay, New York City, New York City, okay. I guess it's the mayor's daughter was arrested over these protests and so forth. So, okay. Now, some of the things they've done, these protesters done were unlawful, okay. But again, this is part of the territory, okay. Looting, and I'm not trying to condone it, but with these protests, naturally, all right, there are going to be clashes with the police. And over the last 5 years, we've seen this, okay, with more profound issues like Michael Brown and all that, okay. Plenty guys of African descent that's been mistreated by police, okay. Again, fire burnings in Manhattan, okay. They talk about potential spread in coronavirus, and we can get to that later. Minneapolis, okay, they had peaceful and some violent protests, all right, where police station was burned down, that precinct, I guess, where that officer came out of. Boston, okay, frozen bottles of water, wow, okay. Nashville, okay, at the courthouse, okay. And everybody's in on this. This is not just the Black Lives Matter movement. I think that just people in general are just tired of the system and tired of police and are, vowing for change. DC, also DC, around my hometown area and so forth, okay, have had standoffs with the police and so forth. So let's get on to the Las Vegas protests now at this time. But it's just good for you to know what is going on nationwide and how people are taking this. News here, and there are protesters on the south end of the strip here yesterday, okay, that had protested and so forth, okay, MGM Grand, and they were fighting over there. I wish I could show the video, but for time constraints, I'm going to have to just make my comments and let it be. I'm going to probably, you'll see the videos in my second part of this, okay. A small group, they were peaceful about it. 40 to 50 here. Okay. They also had several protesters downtown, including the Black Lives Matter movement, MGM Grand. Okay, you can see the standoff here between police and protesters. Okay. News conferences between protesters and police and so forth, and also city officials, city and state officials. Again, I'm going to have to split this segment here, but this article here is from the Las Vegas Review Journal. Okay, and I wish I probably could have been out there so I can do some footage myself. Okay, but it was protesting. It did get a little out of hand, these protests, and there was a clash between the police. Probably the state police is there too. Usually that they are involved when it comes to riot gas or riot control right there. The state usually takes over. So this happened downtown on Fremont Street, okay? And so this talks about vandalized cars, pawn shop lootings, okay, on the other establishments around the El Cortez casino, okay, Molotov cocktails, okay, being thrown at the police, okay. So tear gas was used for defense mechanisms, okay. So these guys, again, protesting. They were around 8th Street, 7th Street, okay, and they had everything blocked off and so forth. So, all right. I do know that they had a video where they did have the riot team, okay, they was beating down on people, okay. So on here it says about 1,500 to 2,000 people was out downtown, okay. So all right, this was pretty bad here. All right, so I guess this is going to get to a point to where when is enough? Okay, this leash cannot be but so long for the police force, and I do think that it needs to be more efforts of awareness, okay, and to get to the police to take things more seriously. We are the people, and the police are, okay, there are our servants, okay, and it's people like Chauvin, and again, I'm not saying all of them, okay. There's just a few bad apples in the bunch, and those people need to be dealt with. And dealt with swiftly and severely. Okay. Again, I'm not taking sides, and I'm probably going to, in my second segment, we're going to talk about the protesters. Okay, rights and responsibilities. Okay. Yes, it is very disturbing. Okay, and I can't blame these guys for protesting. Although I don't condone. Once again, I don't condone violence, or somebody trying to shoot at or try to attack the police, but it is what it is. Okay. So yeah, we'll talk about this, and I think that things will be calmed down probably by Monday after the curfew, and I don't think I'll be back until Tuesday, so I can do my assessment on that once I'm there. Okay, but we'll save the rest for the other video. All right, so stay tuned. Go on and click on to part 2 of this commentary about Floyd. Okay, and we'll go from there. Thanks for listening.